Hello, hello. I know you're not expecting to see me today. I haven't advertised or anything, but seeing it's Thursday afternoon and I usually do a video, I thought I'd do one today. I've not long come home from holidays. We've had 2 weeks away, and so my brain is not yet into crafting very well. So I'm sharing with you today a kit called the Welcoming Garden Kit. I'm very excited to see what's inside. As you can see, I haven't opened it yet, so I'm very excited. It's actually a stamping kit, and it was one of the kits we had available last month in March. This month we've had 3 non-stamping kits. So here's the stamp set, and with our new kit orientation, I can show you them. Crumb Cake is the ink pad, so I'll just grab my Crumb Cake ink out and pull everything out of the box, and then open my little kit up. Okay. In my kit is some tear and tape and a block to do these lovely stamps, some mini dimensionals, little white pieces, beautifully decorated envelopes. All of those, aren't they beautiful? So lovely floral images on the envelopes. Pop them aside. And these are some of the cards. This one, which has lovely die cut imagery already done on the card. Look at that. Isn't that exquisite? I think that's the way it goes, and this must be the other card design. I'll move that, the lovely pool party splotchy background. Okay, let me get the instructions, that always helps. So there are 3 designs, so I probably need 2 of those to make all 3 designs. Pop you underneath there. Here's the stamp set, which has thanks, just to note, your fence posts and thinking of you today, and some wood sort of detail. These are the cards we're going to make with beautiful die cut imagery. Let's have a look at the bits and pieces. So for these cards, there's my stamping platform. Check this out. Check this out. My goodness. A lovely fence. Let me just pop you down there so you can see. Actually, it's a gate, isn't it? All right. I'll pop them out. Little birdhouse. Hello. I don't need the other languages. 2 fence posts and this lovely gate. All laser cut, ready for me to go. Don't even have to use my die cutting machine. Isn't that cool? Okay, this one here has labels, which I presume are for the greetings. Okay, so if I do 3 different ones of those, that should cover us. And looking at these labels, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of each design. So you've got a couple of spares just in case you need them. All right, now this one has gorgeous fancy looking designs on them. Okay, I presume I only need 1 of those. There's a little bit to pop out here. It's always fun pulling out all the die cuts, isn't it? And then this one here has all of the florally bits and pieces on it. Okay, I might leave that intact until we need it. All right, let's do the first card and see what we've got. For the first card, we need this piece here. Am I putting this up far enough so you can see? That one I don't think so. And we need the little birdhouse. And we need some of these flowers. According to the instructions, need these little flowers. Okay, that is all the supplies for the first one. Let's have a look at the instructions for the first one. This is this one here with this gorgeous, gorgeous die cut already done for us with the birdhouse there. So the first thing to do is to stamp this little wood grain image onto the fence posts. I'll get my long thin block there so that makes it easier, and my crumb cake ink, and we'll stamp. Just stamping on that randomly, it's just enough to give it a bit of interest. It's pretty easy, isn't it? There we go. That's all that stamping done. And also on this one here, the stamp that is required is the thanks stamp. I'll put that on a smaller block, thanks, and stamp that one there. And then that might be all the stamping there is for this one. Okay, now I think we just need to put it together. This folds in like this, and we're using the dimensionals. Where did I put them? Don't know where I put them. Over here somewhere. The dimensionals on the back of the birdhouse to give it a bit more shape and dimension here, so it stands out. There we go. And dimensionals on the back of each of these flowers. And you need the minis because they're only very small flowers. All right, so pop those on top. Those two, 1, 2, and stick them over the top here. Feels so strange to be crafting after being away in a camper for a couple of weeks, touring around Tasmania, which is an absolutely beautiful place. Had a fantastic time. There we go. So there's our flowers and our birdhouse, and then the next bit is to put our thanks onto the gate, and I've used 4 dimensionals there because it's good to have it nice and firmly affixed. And pop that just up here. Thanks. There's my first card done. Thanks. And got room to write down there inside. Pretty, pretty card. Okay, next card is the one with the big gate. So this one here, we're going to stamp on this one, and this one we're going to stamp some of the little lines again all over this. So one up there, one there, one there. Apparently that's all we need. And just a note, I'll pop that on a little block and stamp that onto this label here. Just a note. Okay, that's all the stamping for this card. Just a note and the little lines. All right, and then we need this die cut here. Oops. Oh, I'm pulling it out of the wrong one. I'm getting 2 at the same time there. Here we go. This die cut and all these orange ones, orange flowers. And they will probably all get stuck on the same as the other pretty pink flowers. Here we go. So the instructions say to stick this one on, pull out my bit of rubbish there, stick that one on there, and then this one here gets tucked in and around the gate. So this one gets tucked in here, and doesn't it look nice? That one gets tucked on the outside. This one gets tucked on the outside, and this one gets tucked on the outside. All right, so it looks like, and then we can stick that on the back like that. Okie dokie. Now this one, we need to be strategic with where we put the dimensionals, because we don't want it to show through the front of the gate. So I'm just going to pop it over here so I can see where I can see through. So put one there, one there. So I'm going for places where the leaves overlap the gate, so I can capture both of them together with the dimensional. There's a spot there. If you had liquid glue, this would be probably pretty useful too. Okay, that's probably enough. I might do one more just there. All right, now I'll peel the backs off each of those. Thank you everyone for joining me today for our wonderful garden kit. I've forgotten what it's called already. Oops, done the back of that. There we are. Rightio, and stick you on here, down the bottom of that. Isn't it lovely the way the leaves curl around it? And then these guys all get stuck on with the mini dimensionals as well. I'm just putting them on the widest part of the flowers, right in the center. And if you're worried, you can actually cut them in half as well. And one more up here, I think. Right, now, looking at the pictures, which tell you exactly where they go. There's some here, and this will also help anchor everything in place as well. Having the flowers, hang on, we've got to stick our just a note in the middle so we don't put that where the flowers are supposed to go. So I'll stick that one right in the middle here, just a note. And then we've got some flowers there, some flowers down here. Isn't that pretty? There, there, and there. Okay, there's our second card done. Now that little stamping in the background was just a little bit of background interest, wasn't it? It wasn't very necessary, but it certainly made a difference to the finished product. Okay, there's our first two cards. Now the instructions for the third card. Pop that there. There's the card base. Now this one, we've got all of these pieces are going to be stamped with this large fence piece here. This is why you need your large block. Pop that on a large block there. And I will also be using this one here. It says, thinking of you today. I'll get another long, thin block for that one. Okay, and then we've got our fence post. I'm going to put it this way because I just find it easier to line up. I'm a right-hander, So I find it easier to do it sideways than straight on. So I'm going to line them up with the fence post there. I've got their photopolymer stamps, so you can line them up quite nicely. Close. Okay, and here. I wonder if I should have gone over. Well, my post is going to stand there. And then here. Where am I? I was using the top pickets to line it up. Maybe I should have lined it up with the bottom bit. But it's not too bad, I don't think. All right. And while I'm stamping, I'm going to stamp the Thinking of You Today. Nope, that's not Thinking of You Today. This one is Thinking of You Today. Here we are. All right, so now we've done all our stamping, I believe. The first thing we're going to do is pop out the last die cut in the die cut. Actually, there's some extra little purple bits. One, actually fresh freesia probably more than purple. I should have read out the colours for what we've got today. And the flowery people amongst you will know what these actual flowers are called. They look like daisies, the yellow ones. There's your pretty die cut piece with all of the edges. Means it's coloured right to the very edges. Okay, so that gets stuck straight over the bottom with your tape, or in my case I'm using my seal. Just stick that straight across the bottom of the card. Just make sure I've done that on the right side. Yes, I have. And then we're going to put glue on these ones. 1, 2, and 1, 2. And then that gets stuck on here. Actually, there's a mark on the image itself where you can see where it gets stuck. This one is going to swing open like that. And that one you line up with a little mark on the, there we go, swing open. Isn't that cute? This Thinking of You is going to have some dimensionals put on the back of it. 1, 2, 3, and that goes behind the fence. I wonder if I'm clever enough to stamp on the inside as well. Should I try it? There's my Thinking of You Today down there. All right. Now it is a bit of a uneven surface there, so I will have to be careful. What I might do is pop my stamping platform underneath there so it gives me a consistent surface. Line up my stamp and there we go. Stamp the gates on the inside of the fence as well as the outside. Now I'm going to put dimensionals on my fence posts to finish off that gate. And then while I'm doing that, I'm going to think about who I can give this beautiful card to. I'll probably give it to my mum, actually. And it's Easter around the corner, and even though it's autumn here in Australia, this is a very, very beautiful, happy Easter. Sweet, I think, with its gorgeous floral themes. Here we go. Right, so first thing is we'll put on I think there must be a proper name for these fence posts. Pillars or something. way. One there. And one there. So when you get this kit and you're stamping yourself, you'll take a bit more care with your fence posts, won't you? Because they'll look better if you take more care. I'm going to put my hello on the gate. There we go. And then pop up the flowers. So this one can go over the, hanging over the fence. I think that's the whole idea, is to give them a bit more dimension. I'm going to pop one hanging over the fence there. Oop. One there. And one up the top. There you go. So there's my 3 cards from the Welcoming Garden kit. They each come with stunning printed envelopes. So there we go. We've got one with a fun little fold with the gate that says hello, thinking of you today. One with the gorgeous gate that says just a note. And one with a trifold. Aren't they beautiful? I love the colours. Let me read out the colours to you. The inks used are basic black, berry burst, calypso coral, crumb cake, daffodil delight, garden green, granny apple green, grey granite, highland heather, lemon lime twist, pecan pie, and pool party. So it was actually purple and not fresh freezer after all. There you go. That is the Welcoming Garden kit. I hope you enjoyed that. And that's definitely one to throw into your cart, shopping cart next time you're shopping. It's absolutely beautiful and not too tricky for gorgeous, gorgeous cards. Thanks so much. See ya.